Hi everybody, my name's Thomas. I'm here today to talk to you about Sulcata tortoise care. When people think of pets, we often think of things like dogs, cats, maybe hamsters, but did you know that it's possible to have a 100-pound Sulcata tortoise as a best friend? According to San Diego Zoo's article, African Spurred Tortoise, this tortoise is a popular pet and is bred throughout the United States. Before you get one, there's many factors that everybody should consider before they even think about getting a Sulcata tortoise. Things that you should consider should be things such as understanding the type of animal that they are, what they eat, and also the type of arrangements that they'll need to live in. First, let's examine what type of animal a Sulcata tortoise is. The Sulcata tortoise is also known as the African Spurred Tortoise, and it comes from North Central Africa, as stated in Reptile Magazine's Sulcata Tortoise Care Sheet. That region of Africa is a very hot, dry region of the world. So if you're going to have a Sulcata, it's best that you live in the southern United States. If you live in the north, it's going to be way too cold for it. They are very highly adaptable to the southern U.S. and in Florida where I live. Another thing that's interesting about Sulcatas is how long they live. That also should be considered before buying one. According to the article, Sulcata tortoises, these large, long-lived tortoises can be challenging pets by the spruce pets. They can live for more than 70 years in captivity. Most people need to consider that because it's most likely if you get one as a pet, it's going to outlive you. Another interesting fact about Sulcatas is that they grow to be very huge. A Sulcata can easily reach 30 inches in length and over 100 pounds. Some males even reach 200 pounds, according to the San Diego Zoo. 100 to 200 pound tortoise needs a level of care that many people are not prepared for. Next, I'm going to tell you about the feeding and nutritional requirements of a Sulcata tortoise. Feeding an adult Sulcata. They are mainly grass and hay eaters. They also will like to snack on a few different things. I suggest mulberry leaves, grape leaves, hibiscus leaves, and different types of flowers. They also like fruits occasionally. I wouldn't suggest giving them fruit very often. The sugar isn't good for their diet, but they sure do love a good apple or something every now and then. Baby Sulcatas are a little bit different. You need to put a little bit more care into their diet. They do need the grasses that the adult would have, but due to their little size, I would suggest cutting it up. Also a good spring mix works. They like spring mix, mix a little grass in with it, cut it up with scissors, and the baby Sulcatas will tear that up. Finally, and certainly not least important, is the housing requirements for a Sulcata tortoise. As a matter of fact, this might be the most important thing to consider. Housing for a baby Sulcata. Baby Sulcatas are very fragile. They must be raised indoors for the first year or so, according to Reptile Magazine, and an adult Sulcata will be too large to live indoors, so it's important to have a plan ahead of time for an indoor enclosure as well as an outdoor enclosure. Hatchlings need to be kept indoors under very controlled parameters for proper development to occur, says the Spruce Pets. Proper temperature and humidity levels must be maintained, and it's suggested that it keeps at least an 80% humidity level. I choose a 55-gallon storage container to keep mine in. It gives it plenty of room, and you're able to keep the temperature and humidity controlled. Reptiles Magazine also suggests that hatchlings receive a source of UV lighting if they're not out in the sun. A good UVB bulb does the job normally. Now on to the adult Sulcata. Adult Sulcatas, like I said before, get very huge. They're going to need to be kept outdoors. They need a very large living space. Reptiles Magazine suggests that fencing goes 12 to 24 inches below the ground because Sulcatas are big time diggers. They will go under your fencing and escape in no time. It's also suggested that you build a big shed or something for them to sleep in because when the cooler temperatures come around or the rain, they need somewhere to hide. Sulcatas are a solitary species, so you never want to keep more than one together. They're perfectly happy living alone. All right. In summary, Sulcata tortoises are one of the most amazing pets, but they're also one of the biggest responsibilities a person can take on. I cannot stress enough how important it is to take consideration how large a sulcata can grow, how long they live, and their feeding habits before getting one. But if you're willing to take the responsibility for all these things and make a lifetime commitment to this beautiful animal, you surely will have a friend for life.